to stream the event.
చేయబడలేదన్న ప్లాన్ స్టాఫ్ వాడి మనిషికి అంతేం చేయబడి
This is a new feature. 21 minutes to till Azure live age. Okay.
నేను చెప్పని పోతానని చెప్పేవాడికి నేను పోతానని చెప్పా చెప్పా వాడు దాన్ని క్లోజ్ చేస్తున్నాడు. క్లోజ్ చేసి నేను సంతకం పెట్టడానికి పోయి సంతకం పెట్టాలి చేశాడు. దాన్ని కూర్చొని క్లోజ్ చేశాడు. సంతకం పెట్టడానికి పోతున్నాడు.
Hello everyone. So we begin the show by 11:30 IST. Hi Mentor, how are you? Yes, we are still live. And so we have to wait for some time to speakers has to join and to schedule something. So on the second week of the October, we have to conduct this Microsoft AI Day. So on hybrid mode, the first week we have to conduct in-person mode, and the second week we schedule as hybrid mode. So both in-person and as well as virtual. So you can join over this, and Dan and Stephen and Opiami and as well as Frank. So most of the people has joined this community, and we are conducting this Microsoft AI Day on behalf of Microsoft Speakers Hub and Innovation Tech Community. And so hope we have to promote the event by the coming month. So let's wait for some more time so people has to join and we have to get started. So we have 18 more minutes to Azure and AI Show go live. So let's wait for some. Thank you, Herman. So we have to start by within 18 minutes or about 17 minutes. We have to wait for, and some of the speakers has to join, and we have to schedule something related to this Azure AI Show.
Thanks, Hermine. Hermine, I'll send you the link. You're welcome to join us if you'd like as well. So that I can into you.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. What about you?
Great. I was just talking to somebody on the phone, so I neglected to realize I could mute myself.
Yeah.
So I need to send Hermine the link here. And if anybody else that's joined us would like to join in StreamYard, you are more than welcome to. Feel free to connect with me or Pratap, and we can send you off the link to join the show live.
Hi, Riley.
Hey, Riley.
Everyone is looking for Dan only.
Riley and I just were on the phone, so I told him that we're live on YouTube, and he was kind enough to show up and throw in that comment. Riley is into gaming, and I was telling him I don't think we have ever talked about, I'm trying to remember if gaming has come up. Pratap, can you remember any?
Yes, Dan, yes, I remember.
Streaming?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever had that as a formal topic of the show yet, but thanks, Riley. Appreciate you hanging out. Hermine is my buddy from Detroit. We're going to be there next week. Hermine, I am looking forward to seeing your part of the country and visit the Teams user group there in Detroit. And then we are doing the LinkedIn tour. I have a contact who works for LinkedIn in Detroit that has offered to give us a tour of the office. So we are
super
folks.
Yeah, we have 50 minutes. We have to wait for some more speakers, and let's get started.
Yep.
And if you are, those who are be a part of this show, and if you are being a part of Microsoft Speakers Hub, please let me know. So we have to spread the word of Microsoft Speakers Hub. So let's spread the Speakers Hub throughout the world.
Yeah, Pratap, I don't know if you want to mention the innovation tech community as well. Is that's the logo?
Yes. Yeah.
I'll put up a link to your community here. I don't know if there's a friendly name too for it.
Frank is able to join then?
Frank is on vacation, so I don't think Frank's going to be here. I think OPME said that he was busy today. And I've got content. If you have content, you are more than welcome to speak. If we have others join us.
Actually, today I was outside, so I need to be a part of host today.
Okay. Yeah, I've got some content to share. I have some information on how I created this countdown slide deck. I realized that the file was going to be way too big because I wanted to show it every minute. And so if I convert it to a video, the video has to be 60 minutes long, which makes a really big file. And every minute it's just showing the same image. So I was like, yeah, that's going to be it's going to take a lot of time to make a 60-minute video. It's going to be a really big file for use the slides, but I don't think I can do the slides as a unless I share my screen.
Sure, you can.
Slides as a automated countdown. So if it feels like some of these minutes are going by quicker than others, it's because I am having to manually move the slides myself.
Yes,
yes. So Riley, sorry, I'm unable to turn on my. Amin is joining us from Detroit. Feel free, if you would like, before we get started here formally, to shout out where you're tuning in from today.
Yeah.
I believe we'll be able to put that on the screen here. We're 11 minutes away here from the top of the hour. Let us know where you're tuning in from.
Yeah, done. Sorry, I'm unable to turn on my cam, so I was outside.
Oh no, you're fine. I figured I'd flip mine on now that I'm as set as we have.
Yeah. Hi guys, those who are joined for the Azure AI Show, feel free to subscribe for the Azure AI Show LinkedIn invite. So every week we have to conduct this live on Saturday 11:30 p.m. IST, and so different time slots we have to do. If you want to be a part of this Microsoft Speakers Hub and Azure AI Show, please feel free to connect with us, and here with us along with me Dan, and here on Pratap, Frank, Opiami, and so we have a lot of the speakers.
Yeah, we've got a lot of. Sina has been on the show.
Yeah.
I think I was figuring this is either our 20th or close to 20 episodes. Or sorry, that's for Journey to the Cloud. This is closer 20 times 4. We're probably at 40. 40 or more episodes because we've been going for. No, it's got to be more than that. It's like 52 for 1 year. And then maybe...
Yeah.
I'd have to do the math. We're under 100 episodes, but we're closing in on 2 years of the Azure and AI Show.
Yes. So we are... so I think in the month of December, right? So we have to complete this 2 years, right? So if I'm wrong.
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah. Journey to the Cloud and Azure AI Show, and moreover we have audio shows, video shows, and Microsoft Speakers Hub, and it's in tech community. And next month we have Microsoft AI Day. So we have a lot of initiatives. Feel free to be a part of these communities. We are happy to share our insights throughout the tech world.
Let's see if I need to move this ahead once or twice, or 8 minutes.
8 more minutes live.
I'm going to see if I can get Frank's channel connected here. So I think my link didn't work because I didn't have an event scheduled. See if I can connect off to Frank's here successfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't use it.
Dan, I just want to ask you something.
Sure.
Yeah, so this community organization page is not working. I don't like that. That website is not working.
Which website?
I mean, so we need to schedule one event with the help of. There is a one website, right? You shared me something like community.organization or something. I don't know. I didn't remember. That page is not working in India. I don't like that.
Oh, the communitydays.org? Is that the one? Communitydays.org? I think it's
Hi,
.org.
Herman.
Let me double check.
Hello, Herman. How are you?
It is communitydays.org. O-R-G.
Yeah.
I don't
That
know
is
of
not
anything that should prevent it from working overseas. But I
So
do
whenever
know,
we
I do know
schedule
folks
this
that
virtual
can, and
event,
they have calls. Have you? Maybe I can send you the links to the calls.
okay. Sure. So I just want to be you, like you need to schedule one event on community.organization for the virtual event. So if you are free, then we can connect by this next weekend, or I need to prepare the all the posters and I need to prepare all the slides. Then I would like to connect with you. Then we can schedule it.
Okay. Bear with me a second while I figure out how to get logged in as my other account.
Hi, Herman. We are audible.
Hermine, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, but my voice is being delayed quite a bit.
Oh.
No. So you are audible.
At least
audible.
it is for me. I'm hearing your thanks.
Okay, if I did that right, we should be live on Frank's channel too. And if I didn't do it right, we're not live on Frank's channel. Give me a second here.
I'm hearing you twice, Dan. I'm hearing you, I think, live, and then I'm hearing you again through the system.
Let me double check if I think it's because I've got Instagram open. Let me know if it's working now or if you're still hearing me twice. We're 2 minutes away, folks. Thanks for joining. Let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments. Riley, I know, is in the Chicagoland area. Hermine is over in Detroit. And I know we typically have some folks from over in Europe attending. It's much later in Europe on a Saturday. But if you're tuning in and able to type, if you're listening on the go, might not be able to type in a message, but if you can comment on the platform you found us on, feel free to let us know where you are in the world today or this evening. Still hearing me twice. Hermine, let me see if I can troubleshoot that. I'm not hearing myself. I am. Okay. I wonder if I have 2 tabs open. Okay. I'm going to double check if my audio is working here. It's using my built-in device. I'm going to hop over to YouTube and see if it's, or LinkedIn, see if it's causing an echo still. Apologies, everybody. YouTube and see if it's okay. I think we're good. Welcome everyone to the Azure and AI. Joseph, welcome. I do have our 60-second download here that we're going to talk about how I created it.
I'm still hearing you twice.
Let me see if I'm hearing myself twice.
Is anyone else hearing Dan twice?
Yeah, let me know if others are having the same issue. Hopefully I've dealt with the echo issue. We'll see here. Let me know if anybody's hearing an echo. Joseph, how's the sound from your perspective? Hopefully the echo is gone. I'm not sure if there's an easy way for me to test that here. There's a Dan Don't display that shouldn't be on. Hermine, do you still hear an echo?
I think it's fine now, Dan. There's no
Awesome.
echo right now. Yep.
Hermine, I never heard you twice. So hopefully it's back to normal. I was logged in to get this live on Frank's page. I think we are live on Frank's page. I'm not 100% on that. It kind of looks like we might be live on his page, but can't confirm that just yet. Welcome to the Azure and AI Show. My name is Dan Ray. I am stepping in for Frank Falvey. Frank is on vacation. He was on vacation last week, and he is still on vacation this week. He will be back joining us on September 14th, next Saturday. But today, we have Joseph from over in Nigeria joining us. Joseph, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Dan. Good as usual. Thank you.
Excellent. Hermine is in Detroit, Michigan, or that area of the country, and we are going to meet up in person this coming week. We have a Teams user group on Tuesday, and we have another event that we were going to be doing a tour of the LinkedIn offices in Detroit, Michigan. So the first thing I had prepared for today was a discussion about how I created the file that we just used for the Azure and AI Show countdown. Let's see if this is smart enough to realize that I want to share my Excel screen. So the first thing that I did, because I'm lazy and I didn't want to create 60 slides, was I tried to use Copilot in Microsoft PowerPoint to say, create me 60 slides. And I tried as many different ways as I could think of before I got frustrated to create 60 unique slides for the countdown. And the first countdown was 60 seconds because I figured that'd be a really short video, to be a minute video to count down from 60 to 0 or 1. And so I did this in Excel by creating a column. I'll make it bigger so you can see it here, hopefully easier. And in the first column, I just put the second. And I did that by writing a really complex formula, taking the field above, minusing 1, and then copying that formula all the way down column A. And then what I did, without really knowing a lot about Excel, you can just type something in. So I typed seconds till the Azure and AI Show. And then in the third column, I used a feature that's been in Excel for several years that allows you to just create a pattern and have Excel figure out the pattern for you. So I can say 60 seconds to the Azure and AI Show. And if I get those words correctly, the Azure and AI till the Azure and AI Show begins live. Begins live. And then if I got that correct, and I do it a couple more times with the appropriate second, 59 seconds, 58 seconds. What Excel should be able to do for me under the data menu is actually do what they call flash fill. And it's up here in the ribbon. And when I hover over it, it says flash fill. Excel looks at my data. It figures, hey, it looks like you're taking cell A1, cell B1, and you're trying to, what Excel calls in a formula, concatenate. Put both of those cells together in cell C1. And then it figures out, hey, the pattern looks like the next one is the same text, but the number changes. So now I have a column that has the countdown from 60 seconds to 1. I had to change the word second in column B for the 1 second to get the plural removed for 1 second till the Azure and AI Show. And then what I did from here was I took that into Microsoft Word. And I had to do that a little differently. So let's talk about that next. I'm going to share my screen here again. And you may or may not be aware, but I am using a Mac computer. So the Mac sometimes does really great with audio and figuring out the fact that my video is being used in an application or my video isn't being used in an application. But today, either a window I had open or my phone or my other computer that's logged on as Frank for his LinkedIn was causing an echo early. So what I can do in Word now is I can take that entire column, C, and I can Control C, and then I can Control V here within Word, but you'll notice if I hit Control V, I'm getting wrapping, and I'm getting basically a column that's coming into Word, which is going to cause me a problem to turn this into a PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do here is click on the paste arrow to the far right, and I'm going to choose from there, keep text only. What this tells Word to do is instead of, hey, this is a column within an Excel spreadsheet, it tells Word, just bring in the text. I don't care about the fact that this was in a column. If I had 2 columns highlighted, it might have figured out a table or thought I was trying to make a table, which I'm not trying to do. And fortunately, it did realize that each of those cells, each of those 60 cells, should be a separate line in Word. And then the other thing that I had to do to get this working was I had to highlight all 60 lines. I hit Control A to select all. On a Mac, you hit the Command key instead of the Control key, just to make things confusing. And to use this as an outline in Microsoft PowerPoint, I have to convert it to headers. I can't use the style of normal, like a text document. I have to use headings to make 60 slides. And then what I can do is save this file, and I'm going to call this file Azure 9.7 for September 7th. So now the file is saved as Azure 9.7. Okay. Joseph, I'm going to bring you up to the stage, and then I'm going to share my screen again. And this time we are going to share Microsoft PowerPoint. So within Microsoft PowerPoint, did I do that right? I think I did. What I was able to do was under the home ribbon, there is an arrow to the right of new slide. So new slide, right arrow. Let me make sure this is showing up for all of you. It is. There's an outline choice under there. And what the outline allows me to do is go in and pick up an outline that I have, but you'll notice that the outline on my Mac doesn't like the Azure 9.7 file. And the reason it doesn't like it is because it's still in a Word format. So I had to troubleshoot this whole thing without being able to use Copilot, or not figuring out how to use Copilot. I'm not sure if it was just an error in how I was wording the prompt, or if it just can't do what I was asking it to do just yet. But you can see I have two outlines that do show up correctly. And that is because instead of saving them as Word documents, docx file extensions, I converted them to rich text documents. And so the rich text documents do work with PowerPoint. And then it says it can't read the Azure and AI file because no text converter is installed for this type. Let's see if we can do that if we open a... Well, trust me, that's how I got the 60 slides into this presentation in the first place. You don't need to see me troubleshoot. Then the next thing I had to do was each slide said 60 minutes to the Azure AI Show goes live. I used the designer function in PowerPoint. And what Microsoft's designer function in PowerPoint, different than designer.microsoft.com, the Microsoft Designer application is different. This takes the words that are on your slide and comes up with visuals to support them. So if I said journey to the cloud, which I think is what these originally said, that's why a lot of my recommendations were clouds, as opposed to maybe live or community or whatever other words I want to use here. So let's add the word community here to our first of 60 slides. And then we'll see on the far right what designer decides to do. We're still getting a lot of clouds. We're not getting a lot in community. If we get rid of the 60 minutes and we say community goes live, and if we get rid of the information there, you can see now that it's using those words, and designer is suggesting something totally different than what we had with the Azure and AI Show goes live. And basically the way I was able to change this for 60 slides was using the find and replace feature within PowerPoint. So I came up to the edit menu, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this. you can to the far right. So what I was able to do was say something like the Azure and AI Show, and then replace this with Journey to the Cloud. And that's how I took it from Journey to the Cloud as a 60-second countdown to make it the Azure and AI Show, because that was on all my slides. I was able to do a find and replace in PowerPoint. Now, what didn't work for me, and I'll show you potentially what I got as an error, was creating 60 slides with a countdown. And I tried to think of different ways to ask this question within PowerPoint and Copilot. And at least the ways that I could think of asking, let's say, yes, please. Go ahead and create a new presentation. Let's see if you can do it. It looks like it's going to try. We'll see if it actually works this time. But I was trying to get the placeholders for 60 slides. And then even beyond that, I wanted the 60 slides to say the things I wanted them to. This is what I was getting. I was not able to generate the slides for you. Is there something I can do to help you build the presentation? And I thought, well, yeah, you could give me 60 blank slides. And I couldn't think of a way to ask that and get 60 blank slides. They're easy to create too, right? Because you can just tap on new slide 60 times and you have 60 slides, but then I have 60 separate slides that I need to type in 60, 59, 58, etc. So the three applications we've used today to bypass Copilot is Microsoft Excel. We use Microsoft Excel and a feature in Excel called Flash Fill. It's AI based. It's an artificial intelligence example from Microsoft that goes back several years in Excel, prior to ChatGPT, prior to Microsoft Copilot. Flash Fill tried to figure out the patterns that you were looking at and assist you in those patterns, which have always been available as Microsoft functions in Excel. But without having to know the functions, you can now do things like change capitalization. If I said the Azure and AI Show and I decided, you know what, I want it all capitalized. If I give the pattern to Excel that the Azure and AI Show is all in capitals, capital letters, that's what Flash Fill will assume is the pattern that I want. If I do it all lowercase, it'll convert everything to lowercase. There are functions in Excel to do all this. And Excel MVPs probably know way more than I know about Excel. But I know this much about Excel. They know tons more. Flash Fill means I don't need to know any of that. All I need to know is the pattern. So I could take a column that has Joseph and his last name in a separate field, and Dan and my last name, and Pratap and his last name, and Hermine and her last name. And what it allows you to do is actually just pick up that pattern. Hey, you're trying to create a column with first name, last name. The second thing we did was we took a copy of the entire, 59 seconds, 60 seconds countdown words in a column, and we took those from Excel and we moved them into Microsoft Word. And in Microsoft Word, we used the paste text only, so we didn't get the column information or the table information that was causing the words to wrap. The next thing we had to do was define them as headers, and then we had to save the document as rich text format, or RTF. And then finally, we just saw how I can go into PowerPoint, and the first time I did this, I didn't get an error, as long as the file that I was bringing in was in RTF format, and I was starting from a blank PowerPoint, click on the arrow to the right of new slide, choose outline, and bring in the RTF document. And it created 60 slides for me that said 60 seconds to the Azure and AI Show, 59 seconds. All I did to create the slideshow that I showed you for the first 50 or so minutes before we went live today was I changed the word seconds or second to minute. And by doing that, it said 60 minutes till the Azure and AI Show, 59 minutes. And then when it got to the 1 second, it changed it to 1 minute to the Azure and AI Show. I was going to save that as a video that played every minute, changed the slides automatically. What I realized was I was going to create a 1 hour video that was going to be a really large video because video files are really big. And all it was going to do is change every minute. So what I decided to do was save that as a PowerPoint, upload it to StreamYard, and just manually change. So if some of those minutes at the beginning felt much longer than others and others felt short, that was because I was trying to do 2 or 3 things before we went live, including talking to Riley, who joined us from my YouTube channel and is in Illinois. Hermine from Michigan was kind enough to join us and hang around. Appreciate it, Hermine. And then Joseph is joining us from Nigeria. Joseph, I'm sure it's much later there than it is here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Joseph, I don't know if you had a demo or a discussion you wanted to present today.
Okay, so good evening from here to everyone. So I'm always happy to jump on calls like this. So we're having a conversation around the M365 mentorship program in the Nigerian community here, and I was on that call when I saw that it was time for this, and I had to quickly jump on here also to have 1 or 2 conversations. Yeah, it has been a very great week for me, and I've been exploring the Copilot interface. And in the last call we had to journey to the cloud on Thursday, we looked at some things around the Copilot chats, just in case you are not able to maybe sign into Outlook or you are not able to get into Teams, and yet you want to know what is happening in Teams and you want to know what is happening in your Outlook and all of that. So let's say, for instance, you went on leave and then you are back, and then you have a lot waiting for you on your table, and you want to see how you could get a summary and be on top of the situation. So we try to look at those and some limitations also, how you can save your prompts. And because I'm still exploring it, I also want us to look at it together today as well. So I will just be sharing my screen now.
Excellent.
Can I ask Dan, why didn't you put the timing on the PowerPoint itself?
Like a countdown timer?
No, in the PowerPoint for changing the slides.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you use the delay function?
I did that to create the video, Hermine, but I didn't do that in the file, the 60-second delay. And I uploaded that slide deck to StreamYard. I don't think it respects the timer in StreamYard. I'll check it and let you know. But StreamYard was what I used to actually play those minute videos or minute slides. Yeah, that's a good question. That's how I got him to go every second.
Pedro Mamana, I did not acknowledge your presence. I mean, how are you doing? This is my first time meeting you. How are you doing today?
Hi, I've been in presentations with you before, Joseph. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm cool. Thank you for asking. So I will just continue from the conversation I was having on the surface. So I was painting a scenario where you are probably on leave and you came back into the office, and you know how it is when you go on a long leave and you have a lot spending on you and you want to be on top. You don't want to delay anything that is already waiting for you. So this is just me on a blank page coming in today, and I'm just saying office.com as the landing page for everyone that uses the Microsoft account. So the good thing is that when you come in here, you would, if you have the Copilot license, you would have the Copilot icon showing up on the landing page. So this Copilot here is actually linked to other interfaces that you use in your day-to-day work, say your Outlook, say your Teams, your other collaboration to your SharePoint and all of that. So here, I'm expecting the icon to come up here, except I'm not on the original tenant and the correct tenant, but I will just see. If it is not, of course, I can just quickly bring that up. Let me see what we are using. Okay, so I'm in the wrong one. I will just bring this up and just do office.com. Okay, so this is me just so I'm just signing in. Okay. So just in case you see some password jumping on the screen, it's actually a sandbox. There is nothing confidential about the tenants. Okay. So because I see some details came up on the screen, so it's just a sandbox, just to as a disclaimer. Okay. So I'm just expecting this to come up. There's a bit of delay, but it's fine. Come on, be nice.
There it goes.
All right. Okay, so this is the icon here that I was talking about. So this icon is actually central to your M365 interfaces. So this
We're losing your voice a
actually
little bit. There, you're back. You're back.
Would have connection with your email, your
Joseph, I'm not hearing your voice all the time here. Do you want me to bring the other? Let's see here. Joseph, can you hear us?
Okay, so can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you. So I think I was able to figure out what the problem is. Yeah, I was
Okay.
connected to the wrong internet connection. So that's probably
Okay,
the
got it.
issue.
You sound much better.
So here we go. So I was trying to mention that you have the
We just lost your screen.
is my screen still visible? I'm not sure.
We just lost it.
Okay, I'll share again. I'm sorry.
No.
Do that again.
No worries.
This and share. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I was just mentioning that here you have the Copilot icon, and this Copilot has access to your own um, interface where you use for your emails, which is the Outlook, and then it has access also to your teams and all of that. So we are painting a scenario where you are just coming into the office the very first time and you want to say, help me summarize, or you just say summarize, or you say list the emails, list my unread emails, my unread emails. So this is going to your Outlook, and what it is going to do is to look through and see those emails that are here. So one of my key takeaways is saying this emails are here. So one of my key takeaways is saying this. Okay, so it just loaded out my emails, and these are my all unread emails. So if I want to sign into Outlook, I'll just do outlook.office.com, and then this will be my real Outlook interface, right? So now you would see that these emails are here. So one of my key take home is the very first output of my charts or my prompts. If I copy this to Outlook, it is not going to be in plain text. So let me try that now so that you see I just copied what I have here. So if I paste this now, you would see that this is not readable for me. It is saying Joseph is inviting you to collaborate on permission evaluation. And if you look at what is here, it's just showing me like a URL. It's not actually pointing me to, this is saying this is the second email. Have you tried Vim data, you know, platform? So I'm trying to also open my Outlook here so we can confirm those emails. So what I observe is that you are not going to have the cursor here, and I copy, it is going to be plain text. If I paste, but if I hit on the copy icon, then it is going to give me text that is not plain, right? But my subsequent query or my subsequent prompts, if I copy it, then it's going to be in plain text. So I feel that this should be what I don't like about the first prompts and the outputs, which I would definitely give feedback on that as time permits me. I would definitely load up and bring up my emails to confirm what we have here on the list. And the very first unread email here is saying that invitation for permission evaluation. And that should be one of my key takeaways. So browser to establish tech, and this is one email that is showing here is the, remember my prompt was speaking to my unread emails. And if you look at my unread emails, this is first from Microsoft Copilot, and this from Vim Backup, and then this is the, here is so if we open this email, we should see that it's speaking to permission evaluation from what we have seen as the heading of that mail. So I'm just waiting for it to open. So it is saying that this is not readable. So basically, what so it can come through to see what your charts are. So I don't know why this is delaying to also open. So if you look at that, so let's say you want to create responses to this. So you can say that it should generate or create responses to each of the emails of the unread emails. So one very nice thing about this the prompt is that you don't need to put it in question mark
Hi everyone, my name is
before you
Kev.
to realize or know that have is you need to just make your point make your point known, and then it will be seen, right? The output will be clear enough to indicate that you are truly asking a question, for example. So what I mentioned before, if you hit on this copy now, it is going to be a plain text, unlike what you got initially from here that looked this way. And that is my second prompt. So if I go back to say generate or list me the list of my unread emails, then I am going to get a plain text of this also, but I just want to highlight it now and paste the responses that were generated for me. So this is saying that Joseph is inviting you to collaborate on permission evaluation. So the response it is providing is saying that, hi Joseph, thank you for initiating, inviting for the invitation to collaborate on permission evaluation. I look forward to your response. This is not because your outlook that you don't have Copilot there to also do this job. But what I see now is just bringing it out in like straight form, is not having salutation. So I can say open salutations, open salutation and closure to the emails. I'm just trying to check what it will do in this case. So let's see what is going to generate this time also. So I'm just going to look at it, and it's saying it's still not doing that because it's saying sure, here are the responses with open salutation. So it's not coming out in like email response, unlike the previous ones I got, but it's still generating it. So one thing I know, so we don't overflog this, is that you could actually have this drafted from your Outlook, right? If you come here also, if you go to respond to, let's say, this particular email that we have, you can use Copilot to also draft the responses. So this is reply. So if I click on this reply now, and I want to provide response to this mail, I can just come up here and I say draft with Copilot. So if I say draft with Copilot, the same thing that we had there, we could also have it here on on an email by email basis. So if I truly want to use Copilot to respond, of course I can. And if I don't have access to my Outlook, I can still see the mails that I have missed or the emails that are pending my action. So if I come here and I just say, okay, list me the emails I am yet to respond to, yet to, excuse me, to respond to, and I hit this, I will expect it to just now go through both my unread emails and the emails and the emails pending action. All of them should be listed out for me. So it is just bringing out the emails, all the emails that I have not responded to. So if I hit on this and I take it to my notepad, it's going to be plain text also this time. It's not also plain text, so that means there are instances where so there are instances where you don't have plain text. Like I mentioned in the last call, I am yet to know the pattern which this happened, and I think it is important that I pay attention to this, and you can also join to research on why this is happening. But let's just say again that list out the emails pending my action. So if we hit on this, so I will expect that it's going to be saying verify if nothing but if my action is not required, it's not pending done. So but what I want to look at is if I hit on the copy icon, if it is truly going to copy for me plain text actually. So let's see what happens at the end of this query. So this is just me not having to sign into Outlook first. So I'm just going to hit on this and let me paste it here and see if it's going to be plain text that I can read. It's also not plain text. So I think something is not right here that needs us to, mention that an issue with there's probably an issue with this. But however, you can excuse me, let me see. Let me quickly come back to that place. However, you can place your cursor at the end of it, and I'm sure it's not efficient enough. And this to you can copy this to Notepad, and definitely it will be in a plain text. So you could also have it do your planning for you on how you want to respond to these emails. So this is just me showing us that. And I think one other very important item to mention here is that in your Outlook, there is Copilot inside when you are drafting your mails, right? There's Copilot here. Draft with Copilot. That's okay. Write me a response to email this email, which is fine. It can do that for us. And then the question will be that if this is possible and available here, of course, we can play around it and say that it should open, salutation, and close so that all these can be fine. But if you are fine with what you see, you can change it. You can work on this to, you know, from here saying anything you like to change. Yes, so open the conversation, or you can say, I don't know the term actually to use. You can say, address this mail, let this mail be addressed to the sender, maybe something like that, because it's not making sense that it's just coming out as a play as just an open. Yeah, look at it. So dear sender, and it's coming to regard. I think that was a mail from Microsoft Outlook. So maybe we want to pick a mail from like a sender who has a name that they can pick. So if we say that is summarized actually that I just clicked, but I meant to actually to draft with Copilot the response. So this is going to summarize the email that I have. So this is the summary, but I'm not actually after the summary. I want to do a reply, and in my reply, I want to make sure that I'm drafting with Copilot. And while drafting with Copilot, I want to say, write me a response. Write me a response. So let me not just give more detail. Let's see what happens at this point. So let's see. It's just saying this. So it's not addressing it. Let's see, address it to the sender. Let's see if it's smart enough to pick the name of the sender. Okay, so it's not picking the name of the sender, right? So the sender here is this. That means I could say in place of sender, I could say address the email to this person, and this person coming from me. So let me not put my name, coming from me. So let's see if it's going to identify the account that is signed in now. Okay, so good. So it was able to identify that it is my account that is signed in, and it picked up my account here. So let's see. It is still not well arranged, of course. It's still opening template for me to input, but this is what can be done. So but the comparison what I want us to have on this call is this Copilot and this Copilot. Of course, here in Outlook, you see Copilot here, and then you see Copilot here. What are the difference? So, from the observations I have put into this is actually looking like this, but the prompts inside the Copilot chat in Outlook is is actually Outlook related specific. So all the prompts are speaking to Outlook. So if I click on this, there are some generic prompts that would come with it. I have clicked already, and I'm not sure why it is not loading. So maybe I hit on refresh here once. So what will I do? Let me just, okay, I think it has picked. Or let me see now. It's going to load. I want to do Teams also. Let me see what we are going to have in Teams, because we have the Copilot icon here in Outlook, and I was mentioning that the prompts that are going to be coming out are going to be more of Outlook specific. I mean the prompts that came by default with it, or the suggested prompts. Then in Teams, I am not sure that we have Copilot. Let me wait for it to load first. So here is the Outlook and the Copilot chat in Outlook, and then the prompts that are being suggested are saying get calendar info when my next meeting with persons X will be. So this is going to comb my calendar and see the persons I'm having meeting with. So this is saying prep for that meeting. Help me prep for it. So these are prompts. And if you see these prompts that are here, so they are they are going to be speaking to activities that you are doing within Outlook. So this is also showing view prompts, and I think we have similar function in PowerPoint. So if I click on this, and then it's just showing me saved prompts. So what this means is that I can save my prompts here in Outlook. So if I click on this drop down, then if I check this one, it means that the suggested prompts that are going to be coming out are going to be speaking to something about ask. And then let's just check and see. That means that we have like two prompts to say how to, which is asking, then get calendar info, which is like asking to get calendar info. Let's uncheck this and let's check catch up and see how it will filter. So filtering that is saying get the gist and then prepare this. So the good thing is that if you have a prompt that you use quite often, you could save those prompts just so you can you can see
Just lost a little audio there.
them quite often. And then this is so if you click on view all prompts, for example, let's see what that's going to give to us. So that's taking me to an entire page. So this is Copilot's cloud.
I think it's having a tough time when it's loading the page, Joseph, getting your audio as well.
Okay, so yes, I think
Yeah, you sound
these
better.
are prompts, the entire prompt that you want to look at. So for OneNote, you have prompts relating to OneNote, you have prompts relating to PowerPoint. So these are all the built-in prompts that you may want to check out from this URL. Maybe Dan, you may want to drop this on the chat on the screen so that people can get to see this URL where all the prompts can be viewed. You can, because prompts is actually a very important thing when it comes to Copilot. Like you mentioned, while trying to write some prompts in your the countdown, you see that we could not we couldn't get it. Perhaps you can be doubting the efficiency of your prompts, so we can go on and on. So these prompts are categorized, but I'm thinking that maybe there is a way to even filter them, but there are a long list of prompts. You can scroll up to see which one speaks to you more and see where you want to do it. So here you can also filter by app. So if you want prompts to be prompt for your word, you can also filter so that everything that is going to come to you is going to be prompts that are used in word, and then the task depend on what you want. If you want prompts that are speaking to create, you can click on this, and then that means we don't have prompts that way. Then we let's see what edit is going to be. Craft press release, and then you can ask, and then you can keep on, and then job type now depends on your specialty. Let's say you are a marketer, and then what's the prompts you are going to be, you are going to be more interested in, the ones that speaks to marketing. And if it is the one that speaks to human resources, of course, craft a job description, conduct market research, and then create FAQ documents and all of that. So you can as well now come here and say that you want prompts that speaks only to PowerPoint. Of course, you can filter, and of course you can also have multiple filters. So if I remove word from here, I will expect the filter to become slimmer, and I can decide to uncheck this so that all the prompts that are relating to PowerPoint should come up for me. So this is efficient, and I feel when you are just having relaxation, you could just go through this link to see the available prompts that you can use. So I was speaking about Teams, and I was saying that I'm not sure that the chat bot is here, but of course it's up here. So if I click on it again, so I would expect it to come up as the chats. So in Outlook, the chatbot is here at the beginning of your chats for you to look at prompts in Copilot. So, and again, the prompts that we are going to be having here are going to be specific. So there was a problem reaching this app. I'm sure there is maybe internet connections issues, or if there are issues basically with the applications. But this is what we have at this time. But this is what we would have to replace what you can see here. And then again here, one thing I noticed is that, let's say for example, if you uncheck this and you come back to like the general page of the prompts, if you say you want to look into my inbox 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 for pending actions, let's say I'm just drafting that from just mainly trying to get something. So one thing I should mention here is that yes, these things, these outputs are coming out good, but if you come back to mail, if you come back to mail and you want to come back to this place, I mean to your Copilot chat in Outlook, this isn't going to be there waiting for you. It will go, and each time you come back, it is going to reload afresh. So just before I round off, I'm just going back to, let's say I wanted to catch up on one of these, and I want to come respond to it so that I can come back again to my chatbots. It is not going to be there again. Be history. I'm thinking if there should be history showing what I had prompted it to tell me, and that it should be listed among these ones that I heard. Unfortunately, it's not here. So you can also check to see if there is a place where you could view the history of your prompts and see how they can be useful to you. So that's the tip I want us to take home today from today's session. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and thank you, Dan, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Joseph.
Go ahead, Hermine.
Thank you very much.
I really don't have anything
Hermine, we lost your voice.
now. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh,
Yes, please.
It's cutting in and out. I heard you say, now can I hear me, but I don't hear you again.
yeah. I think
Are you on a headset?
um I was gonna say that I was just going to hang out, but I can make you aware of maybe off outside of this if you want of some things with the MCT 0 day event that's coming
Sure.
up.
Yeah.
You want to do it now or you want to wait until later?
We're welcome to now. I
Okay.
know I sent Tracy from the MCT program a note last night after I sent the note about the pickleball event on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also using that as kind of like a first communication with what I'm in charge of. I'm not sure exactly how we're gonna do the day zero event, or the MCT day, whatever they're gonna call it. I think they're calling it MCT day now, not day zero. But um, it was just it was the Friday. I know Microsoft has the office open, and they don't have some of the limitations we're going to have when we're planning the event there that Tracy's assisting with. And I also know that the 70th floor is open, so we can go up to a bar up on the 70th floor of the Aon Center, and going up there is free, so we don't have to wait for sponsorship or you know anything else related to that on Friday. Um, and I figured since registration for Ignite isn't open yet, hopefully most MCTs are still in the position where they're making plans for, when do they come to Chicago, and, where are they staying, those kind of things. I know I have a condo in Chicago close to McCormick Place already reserved for that week.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe there's either 3 or 4 bedrooms in it. So Hermine, I don't remember if I talked to you about that, but I've talked to a number of MCTs about it.
Yeah, so I'm in planning mode myself. Les is going to come with me. However,
Cool.
one of the things, because they put the event with the partner event this year,
Right.
so it's got to be two of us to maneuver everything. But here's my complaint. One, they need to open the registration. Number one, now, not later, now, so that we can get best prices for hotels and transportation. The other thing is, I was part of the 2015 group. I saw where you had mentioned Gary from the
Yes.
2015, and
You're
I
all
was,
over those PowerPoints, by the way.
I know,
I picked ones that I didn't feel were too
yeah,
name specific, other than Gary, because I figured I wanted to shout out Gary to begin with, and then
yeah,
Patrick Thomas, who put me in touch with Gary, and that's
mhm,
probably where I met you originally. Was back
yeah,
in Chicago.
right. I didn't go to Texas the year before, but I did go. I think the following year we were in New Orleans.
Cool.
So, I was making them on a regular basis. However, I didn't realize how much I keep information. So I did find some pictures from the Texas group, which I was not a part of.
Okay.
And I didn't know if who was doing the planning. I'll try to touch base with Tracy the next MCT call
Yeah.
to see what they're planning. They had said they were going to do something, and that's what I wanted to give you a heads up on.
Yeah.
They said that they were going to try to do something and come up with something, but they weren't really sure yet.
So Tracy and Sarah Kong are the two that secured us the space at the Aon Center. I didn't feel comfortable going into too much of those details since that's more of a committee kind of decision.
Right.
And Gary and I have spoken, but there are other people that were on that committee in 2015. And I would imagine the difference between 2015 and this year, maybe Tracy and Sarah have offered to assist in whatever capacity we would like. And I know they are the reason we have this space on Saturday. And I just said Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a real wide secret. It's typically the Saturday before.
Yeah.
But I had spoken to Gary about, maybe we just try to do it on Friday because there's no additional costs to doing it on a weekday. Plus the bar is open at the 70th floor. So we get really great views of Chicago. We have easier ways to access the building, et cetera. But I realized that for many, taking an additional day on a Friday may or may not be feasible, even with advance notice. But I figured, we can play pickleball for free if people bring paddles. I have some paddles that people could borrow. And if the MCTs are coming from out of the country anyways, they might be thinking about, a few days before and a few days after kind of thing.
Yeah, I thought, though, that there were going to be some half-day presentations on Friday.
There may be. There may very well be. I haven't heard all the logistics. I'm not in charge of, I'm not in charge of anything so far. So the registration, I've heard information about. Once that goes public,
I checked the website.
Other things I think fall in place.
Yeah, I check the website every day because I want to get early registration as much as possible, although that always bites me because as an MCT, as a partner, and in some of the other little groups I'm in, they offer sometimes registration discounts. And I always miss the best discounts. So whatever I get, I guess we'll have to do. But Friday, they do say 10 to 1. There are sessions, labs, and demos.
Okay, good.
And then we usually fly out or leave the day after everything is over just to give ourselves a break and not have to run through the airport, on the last day. So I just wanted to make you aware. I did the website in 2015 for them.
I did see that. I did see that information.
You can
that
tell.
Was my reminder.
I was like, please don't show this to anybody. I wound up finding a backup copy in my archive, and I'm saying, boy, is it dated.
Yeah, Gary sent me all the PowerPoints from all our planning calls. And it was like a trip down memory lane, but I didn't feel comfortable putting all those PowerPoints out because they had, I think they had email addresses and some other things in them. So I didn't want to publish anything that I felt was getting too personal without touching base with people on that committee. And again, we haven't really, gotten to a point where we've put together the committee other than I know Tracy and Sarah, Gary and I have been chatting. So
yeah.
Definitely, I kind of perused, I think, the last newsletter I got to see if there was anything, said there, and I didn't see any communication. So I was debating, do I post something? Do I just say, hey, it's a throwback to, we had an event in 2015. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll just talk about pickleball because that's totally in my purview.
Right. You're the pickleball person for sure.
I am a little obsessed. And the other person I know that's obsessed is an MVP. So I have to decide whether this is a invite to MVPs and MCPs or even community, because you don't have to be either to play pickleball. So We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, I tried to see if the Facebook site was still live. I think the Twitter site is still there. MCT, yeah, under MCT Day, but nothing's been posted there, I think, since 2020. And the website is not active anymore. But the office site, the email address is active.
Okay.
I was able to get in there, and there were some files in there. So in some of that stuff that you looked at, there is a login for office.com and a password, not very secure password, but a password to get into the office.com site. And if you need that, I can send that to you because there are some files in OneDrive. I just moved all of the Texas pictures. They were a bunch of Texas headshots into that OneDrive. I've got a couple of pictures from New Orleans, but it's not of us. It looks like somebody took pictures of a band that was playing on the street.
Okay.
And so I'll move those over there. I'm trying to find a centralized location. I have some logos for Buddy Guy's Legend because that's where we had our evening event that year.
Yes.
You know,
that was super fun, by the way.
Yeah.
that was very memorable.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to move stuff that can be moved into a centralized location.
That's great.
So that anybody that's going to be in the committee this year can get at it.
Yeah. I would imagine it'll be very similar to the last group because I think everybody that was involved last time is still an MCT, is still fairly active either as a regional lead or an MCT. I don't recall many names, if any, that were not still active in the PowerPoints, at least that I perused, and I didn't look at them in detail, but I looked at them and thought, well, I can't post a lot of these slides. Gary did one slide with the old Microsoft Technology Center address, and I don't remember if that's because we just moved to the new location and he wanted to make sure people didn't go to the old office, but that was a throwback. 77 West Wacker.
Yeah, I don't think, no, we were at the other place, weren't we?
Yeah, I know we were at the new technology center, but I don't remember the year we moved. It was sometime before that, but it might have been, 2012 or 2013 that we moved. It might have been more recent than that. I don't have the date that we moved the office, but I think he had the old address just to make sure people knew this is the old address, this is the new address.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. So we were on, I don't recall us having a location on LinkedIn. So I'm pulling a lot of this stuff out of the backup for the website. I put all the images, and this is an old website. It won't even run on its own anymore because I use some ancient tools.
Okay.
But the images that are there, I'll move those over that can be used if someone chooses to use them.
Yeah. I know Sherry Oswald was involved with the Microsoft 365 Chicago Community Day. And I think she ran the website, or she ran it with Gordon. I think there was somebody named Gordon that helped with the website.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't recall if Gordon is an MCT offhand.
Yeah.
And for that matter, yeah,
well,
sure.
Before we walk in those doors, they're going to make us sign away our firstborn children.
There are I'll just say there's some challenges this year with using the facility on a Saturday.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, everywhere. That's everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, even coming downtown here, where it wasn't a big deal. When initially we could come in the evening, a lot of the user groups met in the evening. Now, they have to scan you coming into the building. It's a lot of things, and they don't want to pay that extra. Not only, even though Microsoft people will volunteer to be there, they don't want to pay for the extra security or the overhead and things like that. And before we moved downtown, while we were out in Southfield, that was never an issue. We could meet whenever. All we needed was a Microsoft volunteer or to bless you.
Thank you. I'm hoping this is just allergies, because I was out in the pollen and my allergies are really bad in the fall. Mm-hmm. So I have my fingers crossed. This is just a either allergy attack or whatever. I don't take my allergy meds on a regular basis either.
Yeah, I'm like that too.
I will keep close tabs on my health since we are planning to see a lot of different people next week.
Yep, that's true.
Yep. Either way, I'm going over there. It's just a matter of whether I get to go on the tours or not. And then if it is a cold or something, I'll wear a mask or something, figure something out.
Yeah,
assuming everybody's okay with that, I'll leave it up to others.
Yeah, I usually, it depends on where I'm going. If I go to a drugstore and the pharmacist have on a mask, I have on a mask. Right. If I go for a doctor's appointment and they have on mask, I'm in a mask. If I go in a supermarket and a lot of people have on mask, I put on a mask. So that's just the way that is.
Yeah. I used to keep my MVP one on my wrist, and that way I figured, it's easily accessible if I need it or want it, or if it makes other people feel more comfortable. But it was easier than just wearing it or trying to, put it kind of half on. So I used to just throw it on my wrist, the same one that I wear my watches on, and figured that was good enough.
Yeah, I do
or
that
easily
too.
Accessible, not in a pocket or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I do that too. I wear it on my wrist and then put it on if I feel like I need it. Okay, is this thing still recording?
We are still live, so I have not turned on.
Still live.
Yes.
So other questions on this is StreamYard, right?
Yes.
I know you've done a lot of testing in these platforms, and I'm curious, which one do you think is the best?
So StreamYard has some advantages. It's based on AWS on the back end. Mike I'm from Microsoft shared that with me kind of at the beginning of my live and produced content. And Restream is the other one that I've used, and I still have a subscription to Restream. Restream is based on Azure, and there's certain things that Restream does that StreamYard doesn't, and I think things that StreamYard does that Restream doesn't. They're both browser-based, which I have a lot of interest in those capabilities where you don't have something else, and they make it really easy to go live on multiple platforms, which isn't necessarily the case with some of the other tools like Teams or Zoom that I've used. OBS, I think, factors into that, but I haven't become kind of a master of OBS. I use it occasionally to figure out my video. So I was using that earlier and I turned it off because I thought that might be what was causing the echo, but I don't think it was. And then StreamYard and Restream you can do for free for certain functionality, and I think you get logos in the corner. So our logo is optional for StreamYard. I decided to put it on at the beginning just so people knew that we were using StreamYard. But because we're in a paid subscription, this is Frank's subscription, we can decide to do other logos in the upper right or whatever we want. So I've been pretty happy with it. Frank either has 2 or 3 team accounts, both Restream and StreamYard. If you have a paid subscription, you can invite other people to share the subscription with you. So you don't have to, when we started this, we used to just pass around, here's the super secure account and here's the access to the account. Both of them have what's called like a team concept where you can put people in. So I'm using Frank's account as part of his team so I can produce the events. And if Frank's here too, we both have the production capabilities. So the nice thing about that is you don't have one person that can like display people or, mute the audience or put up the slides are still here. So I can throw the slides back up on the stage or whatever I want to do.
Now, my issue with looking at this on my laptop is that the screen is very small and I can maximize the screen. But if I maximize the screen on a single computer, I lose the chat.
Right.
So, and then I don't like that the screen is so small, because if the little banner that says you're in the show, everyone can see and hear you were gone. And if I could hide my picture of me being in there, I could possibly make the screen bigger, but it doesn't allow you to make the screen bigger in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, there's limited like layout. Like as a producer, there's ways to like mess around with different layouts. So we can put like the video in the corner instead of side by side, or this way only for the video participants.
But it doesn't make the presentation any bigger for me. The screen's still one side.
Right. Yeah.
The window.
Yeah. And if you make the screen full size, to your point, you can't see the controls or the private chat or anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
it's not everything that you can do, and Restream is a little different than StreamYard. So it's the same basic concept of a studio, and you can record ahead of time and you can play back videos, schedule videos, all those types of things. But Restream is, I think, similar in your comments of like you get a certain size video. The thing we ran into Restream, and I think it was the subscription level, I downgraded my subscription level, switched over to Restream because it was like half the cost. But what we ran into on Restream was when we were at really high resolutions, which most computers are today, the screen sharing got really pixelated. And so we had a lot of people on the live stream saying, I can't see your slides, or I can't see your Azure portal or whatever we were showing that week. And so we ended up, Frank picked up a StreamYard subscription. We moved everything back over to him. And then I did some of the shows on Teams just because that's my award category. And I figure the more things I can showcase in Teams, the better. But yeah,
we're most of the things that we do, and the user group, because user group has kept their tenant. Teresa's presenting this month for us, by the way.
I think I saw that she was on your or she might have mentioned that she was on your schedule. Right. She said the next 3 Saturdays she has something going on.
Yeah. So we've got her the 21st.
Awesome.
I've got a guy, one of our members, who's heavy into cybersecurity. He's presenting next month, and then I'll do November and December. I need a break. Although I'm doing little mini things because of affiliations I have. So I'm doing a little thing, maybe 15 minutes or so on TechSmith product line, because there are changes. And then next month I'm doing something on OneNote, comparing OneNote to Loop, because people are so confused. And so, and then all the changes that are happening, I'm trying to figure out a way to, and maybe this is something that somebody in this group can help with, or somebody can DM me on it, I want to figure out a way to engage with external users, like put the users group in that. I was gonna have an external team, possibly 100% pretty much the external team, but with security getting so tightened up, I don't think I'm going to do that. And I don't want to add extra burden by making our team members, like B2B customer accounts.
Right.
So then I said, well, that's okay. Engage. I can have an external Engage account. Well, no, because they're getting ready to cut that off,
I know with the MSFT community accounts or community tenant, you can have up to 5 owners. If you have, like, I don't know if the Detroit IT user group has a community tenant. But
no.
You can get up to 5 E5 licenses and accounts on msftcommunity.com. But then, those are the only people with licenses or, with team ownership, that type of thing. So everybody else is a guest, unless they already have an account from something else they do.
We could do that, but here's my feeling and a couple of the user group, because sometimes we have, and in all respect to Microsoft, I mean, they're the reason that I'm where I am today. But we don't only live and breathe Microsoft. I mean, we're a general IT user group. So by definition, we will talk about competition and promote, if need be, or compare product lines and things like that, and don't want to be restricted in a way that says, oh, you can only use your account to promote our products and things like that. So
yeah, good point.
My first pass on that, which is why we got a sponsor to pay for our own tenant.
Okay.
And the sponsor that pays for our tenant, and the reason we have an E3 tenant is because sometimes we demo admin environments that don't exist in a business tenant.
Yeah, I've ran into all sorts of features that are missing from business and business premium.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with the partner community, but the partner community, they've gotten rid of our what we were able to do, our action packs. So,
I just saw that from somebody, I don't even remember which thread. I caught it was probably on one of the Facebook groups, but I caught they're going away and they're doing something different. And I haven't processed the whole thing, but fortunately or unfortunately, I'm not using an action pack. I guess fortunately, because if they're going away, that's pretty painful.
Yeah, so they shifted us down to business premiums.
Okay.
But each of the business premium offerings that they have different license tiers.
Yeah.
And so we made a conscious decision, Les and I, to go to the middle of the road tier.
It's a good idea.
But it's still business premium. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep some E3 licenses, so that we can still do some things in our environment. There are advantages and disadvantages. Fortunately, you can mix and match in the Microsoft ecosystem. That's always been a big plus for them.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. But we will have enough licenses that as we bring more people on and more of our colleagues and peers are, school teachers that are retiring and things like that, so that they're looking for an opportunity to work with us and help grow, which is fine. And we'll have the licenses in place to bring those people on board to do some things that we want to do as a business. And then there's the things that I want to do as an educator that just got trounced with the CDX transform.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
Immersion sites. I was always able to get an education tenant, even if it was for 90 days at a time, where I could demo things to the educational customers that I work with. And that's gone now. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck? You know,
there's been a lot of changes, and I'm not sure if some of it's just the, you know, the changes from a standpoint of security and privacy and all sorts of other, you know, potential issues, or if it's you know, if it's reorganization or something else. Because a lot of times you find out there are teams that sponsor those things or are in charge of them internal to Microsoft, and when some changes happen, you know, you see different things come and go, or, you know, this gets shut down, but a similar service gets fired up. So, you know, I'm not
okay.
privy to some of those.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know people, and we do backdoor talking all the time,
Right.
you know, just not in this venue. But
exactly.
You know, everybody's got a right to their opinion and their outlook. The issue I just have is you got to give us the time to adjust. Like we're getting ready to turn on MFA for all the admins in the world, and a lot of them don't know. I'll be talking to someone and I'm saying, so you got your MFA all set up? And they're like, what? Huh? I don't care. You know?
Yeah. I just realized I need to, I think it's my MSFT community account that I don't have the Azure Authenticator, and I don't have an alternative means of MFA set up on. So I need to have an admin in that tenant reset my account so that I can put in one or, you know, multiple options other than Azure Authenticator to get into it, because I'm locked out of it right now. And I'm trying to remember if I have any of my computers that are still authenticated into it, because I could probably get to one of those and then, you know, correct it. But on many of my computers, I'm logged out, or I don't have a cached MSFT community account logged in.
Yeah, and
I think that's going to be a request to the tenant admins. I may ask Heather Newman to do me a favor next week.
Yeah, and hopefully you don't have to rebuild anything when it disappears.
No, it should just be resetting the authenticator enrollment. I just need to do that again.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that they keep whatever the current developer accounts are in play, because I'm still, fortunately, got that. I do enough in there that they should never. They should say, what is she testing now?
I heard rumors that they were going away, but then I've checked on it and it's still there as, like, you know, here's how to get your developer tenant, and it stays live if you use it.
Well, it stays live if you had one prior to a certain point, and they've been renewing it. However, the new ones will require a Visual Studio Enterprise account.
Oh, okay.
And
so you have to pay for something.
So I'm hoping, what I'm concerned about are MCT benefits, because I think that developer account, one of the reasons that I got it in the first place was because my login ID for my MCT was the same as I used for the developer account, and it kept it, active for me. And because I'm constantly using it to prep for different things. So I'm just hoping to stay.
One MVP, but it's tied to the same email, and then one for MCT that's tied to the same email, and it's a personal email on top of it. So there's all those kind of decisions about whether it's better to be in one, and whether it's better to be in a personal or a work tenant that you pay for, or, you know, the one thing I've discovered, and I believe, is it's not a good idea to be in a trial tenant or something provided for free, because if that goes away, then theoretically data goes away, and like you said, those archives and other things may disappear because you're no longer in a trial tenant or whatever. So
yeah, so I just and because I just use, if I got to pay for something like we had to do with the new partner program, then it's just write it off. Said, can I write this off? That's why I asked my accountant. They were like, well, how are you using it? What are you using it for? Yeah. So it's how we conduct business.
Do you use Instagram by any chance, Hermine?
No.
Okay. I realized I'm live on my Instagram, and I don't know on Instagram if the live events
I have an account. I don't use it. I'm not sure if I know how to get in it. And the only reason I have an account is I was at an Microsoft Ignite event and they were giving away prizes, and you had to have an Instagram account in order to
get in the drawing.
Yeah, so I got in the drawing, and I don't use the Instagram account really.
I don't use it that much, and this is the first time I think I'm live on Instagram, but I'm looking for it now, and I don't even see the live notification. So I don't know if it stopped or if it didn't work or if I thought it worked and I'm not there. I don't think it's in my story. No, I don't know. So it says that I'm on Instagram, but I don't know if I'm actually broadcasting to it. It says I'm live, so.
Wow, that would
once
be
you're
scary.
live, your stream is public. You'll find it at the top of your feed in Instagram. Well, I still don't see it live, so. And I have 2 Instagram accounts for, I don't even remember why I created 2 in the first place. So I still don't see it live. Oh, well, I guess
Okay.
I'll learn more about that if people can find it later.
I'm checking my contacts so that I can send you the login.
Thank you.
For
folks, I'm going to go ahead and end our live stream since Hermine and I are just chit-chatting away about MCT stuff and Microsoft Ignite.
Okay.
If you're still with us, we have 26 folks, it looks like, across multiple platforms, whether it's YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. Riley, I sent you a note. My afternoon just freed up, so if you're interested, let me know. I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
I didn't know we were talking to all those people.
I'm sorry.